Action, boys. So what do you think?
That's a nice poster.
Yeah. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, that is very, very nice. Very cool.
Yeah, it's my latest acquisition. I just picked it up last weekend. Hey guys, how you doing tonight?
Hoy hoy.
What do you think? It's my it's a Blade Runner poster.
Yeah, for the Blade Runner 2049, which
Yeah.
is just dropped, man. I checked it out, man. It was good.
Now, the thing about this poster, and by the way, you weren't supposed to see it without, but anyways, we'll talk about that later. Nice thing about this poster is it's a real movie poster from the theater. I had last week off, so what I did is I went to movieposters.com. And although movieposters.com is an online site, they also have a physical location in Scarborough.
Wow, and the wilds of Scarborough, they're located there? Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if it's Scarborough or it's considered Toronto, but either way.
On Leslie Street.
Yeah,
right?
on Leslie Street. And this is a real poster, so this one costs $50 Canadian. I think 39 US if you're ordering it into the States. But it is real, the exact one that sits in the theater, so it's not like something you'd buy at Walmart or Target or something like that. It is real. And movie posters, real movie posters, are very collectible, and there's one of the things I like to collect.
So what are the plans
Show 'em
for
too,
it? Are
that
you planning on
sheet.
getting this framed or no?
Well, eventually. But actually, the reason I went down there is because of my Empire Strikes Back poster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A few months ago, I picked up an Empire Strikes Back poster from a Retro Rare Collectibles, and I wanted to make sure it was real, authentic. So now, when I say the Empire Strikes Back poster, I'm not talking about the one that was released when the movie was originally released in '81. I'm talking about the re-release. Now, anybody who remembers Star Wars knows it was re-released in the theater year 1, year 2, year 3, and the same thing is true of Empire Strikes Back. So each year, they came out with a new poster when they put it back in the theaters. And in this particular case, mine is the second year, the re-release. And sure enough, it's authentic. So I was very happy about that. I think Retro charged me $225 or $250 for it.
Which is about the going rate for them?
No, the going rate's about $600 to $700.
Really? 600 to 700?
Yeah. If it was original Empire Strikes
Oh,
Back,
yeah, but we're not talking
well
the
over
original.
1,000 to 15. But this is their second year, so yeah. So I'm ecstatic about that, and it was a really cool store. So if you go online, you can check it out. They've got some great posters. A lot of original stuff. You can see what they have by going to their website. But they also have a fantastic assortment of reprints that they have on the floor. So if you just want something for your apartment or something that's not too expensive, you can get pretty much anything you want. So yeah, it's a great store. Really liked it there. And as soon as they get this poster for the new Star Wars film, I'll be picking one up of those as well.
Well, I think I'll tag you along that.
And you
time,
should
see what
show
else-
that
what
the
other
fact
goodies they
that
have.
it's lightboard ready as well.
This
It's
is
lightboard
as you
ready.
can see, it's on it's printed both sides because
Yeah,
when they
man.
put it in the theater, they put it on a light board so it shines through.
And on an image like this, man, that would serve it to great effect. It would really pop.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
it would cost something to get that done.
Yeah.
But man, would it look nice? Yes,
Yeah,
it would.
yeah. So yeah, it's one of those things. When the movie's brand new, they only cost about $50. But just a Rogue One poster already is selling for $100 to $120 online for an original. So
Really, eh?
for those of you who are into collecting other things besides comics, I think it's worth it.
I think so.
Yeah. Anyways, enough of that.
On to the books.
We got some really great books to show you tonight, so we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to go over there and get set up, and I think you're going to like what you see tonight. Let's go. Okay, so in keeping with what we've been doing lately, we're going to start with a new book segment, and Jose's got some really nice gems here that he's going to start out with. And this first book, although it looks like an Amazing Spider-Man, it's actually called The Despicable Deadpool.
Yeah, issue 287, but we'll get into that in a second. So, for this segment, more of the same and a few new things. Recipe, hopefully, for a good new comic book segment. Now, it seems to me that it's getting a bit safer for random comic book picking, as in I am getting the feeling that comics in general are getting better. but it could well be me just being a little too optimistic. And without being too negative, what I mean by that, it seems like while diversity seems to be flourishing and there seems to be something for almost every taste and style and genre.
That's for sure.
I mean, there's a lot of product out there looking for a market, if you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So I think prime example, let's lead in for this book here. Against my better judgment, I bought a few Marvel lenticular covers because they look like a lot of fun.
Can you tell they're let's see.
I think, that's the thing. I even went through some of the comics, and they're not bad at all. They're just not what I want to read right now. Now, in
Yeah.
any case, I'm mentioning this one, Despicable Deadpool 287, but only because if I don't, I wouldn't even mention Marvel books.
Yeah.
The rest of the stuff is all DC. To speak to the lenticular factor there, I gotta say the process is problematic as the effect just doesn't work properly to see the complete image flips.
Yeah.
I guess if you try with one eye and at just the right angle, it can work better. But again, problematic. So
Yeah.
enough said. Let's go to the next book. Next book up is Gotham City Garage issue number 1. Now, we've been here before too. DC has a few alternate timelines going on based on statues or video games.
Yeah.
And of course, Paul would know this. I think he's got both the Wonder Woman and Harley Quinn Gotham City Garage statues. You bought them,
Yeah,
right?
I featured the Harley Quinn garage statue in one episode, but I've never shown the Catwoman.
The Wonder Woman. The Wonder Woman is my favorite of the two. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong. The Harley Quinn is great. And the same with the book
But
here.
I don't have the Wonder Woman. I have the Catwoman and
Oh,
the Harley
Catwoman.
Quinn. Yeah.
You don't have the Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So in any case, I bought both of them, both the Harley and the Wonder Woman. I'm showing the Wonder Woman because it's preferably my choice for the better one, or for my personal preference anyway.
Yeah.
Now, I have no reason to believe that Gotham City Garage is going to be any better or worse than any of the rest. But the covers look great so far, and the premise sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Female characters reinvented as rebel bikers who fight to bring down Lex Luthor's utopian dictatorship with Batman as the police.
Cool.
Yeah, it might be worth a gamble, as these tend to be under-ordered by comic book stores. Again, great cover appeal, great cover. Next book is, of course, Supergirl, issue number 14. We've been featuring in the new comic book segments, I think, the previous two issues, 12 and 13.
Yeah.
Still my personal preference for my favorite anyway, and it's just a preference. This is the first one, number 12. Here, what can we say? This is where I just look at the Supergirl 14 Art Germ B variant cover and just not an approval.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, gentlemen, it's a great cover. Next.
Next.
Love it, love it.
Oh, of course, here we go. Yes, Harley and Ivy meet Betty and Veronica. Issue number 1.
We
Yes.
all picked this one up.
Yeah, fanboy fave Adam Hughes gives us a tremendous cover. But it looks like the book will be fun, having Paul Dini, the writer and co-creator of Harley Quinn, involved with it.
Yeah.
It's a nice 6-issue run. And this brings us to a point. Now, in past episodes, I've mentioned about the increasing importance of comic book covers as a driver of value in this marketplace.
Yeah.
Now, in some ways, this is a new phenomenon since the advent of third-party grading and encapsulation in 1999 and 2000. The content of a comic book becomes inaccessible, leaving the cover image as the sole distinguishing feature.
Yeah.
Now, this has naturally led and increased the importance of the cover from a collecting perspective. Now, while some purists may not like this kind of factor, it perhaps leading the hobby back to its roots. And what if I mean that back in the early days of fandom, you had popular artists like Schomburg or Baker, and classic covers often drove value. And there were theme cover collectors who tracked down books like with atomic bomb covers and bondage covers and robot covers, infinity covers, all these kind of different collecting
Nazi
strengths.
covers. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, for all this interest with these covers, however, it's the rise in desirability and price of the work of certain artists that is most noticeable. In the modern book market, there is a strong and growing interest in covers produced by artists including Ari Granov, J. Scott Campbell, Gabriel Dell'Otto, Greg Horn, Stanley Lau, Jim Lee, and Frank Cho, among others. Now, pushing further back into the Copper and the Bronze Age eras, covers by artists including Neil Adams, Brian Boland, Michael Kaluta, Jim Steranko, Dave Stevens, and Bernie Wrightson can often have a positive impact on prices.
Yeah.
However, the breakout star in the last few years has undoubtedly been Adam Hughes.
Adam Hughes.
Yeah, all Hughes covered books from all eras, and he began drawing for small press titles in the 1980s, are in high demand. Given that much of his work had been found on lower circulation titles such as Wonder Woman, Catwoman, Tomb Raider, or Satana, interest has very rapidly outpaced demand. Yeah, and prices are jumping through the roof. Yeah. Now, there is a top tier of Hughes covers, including the Holy Trinity for Hughes fans of Harley Quinn issue #1.
Yeah, we all know the one you're talking with the straight
That's
jacket.
The straight jacket one. Spider-Gwen #1.
Yeah.
Nice one. It's a good cover, her sitting down.
Yeah.
And Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes issue 23. Now, those three books, they routinely sell for roughly $300 to $600 US for raw, high-grade copies.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and of course, substantially higher when graded and slabbed by a third party.
Yeah.
Now, a second tier of books has developed, including Catwoman issues 51, currently going for about $100 US.
Yeah.
Number 70, the red cover feature, $60 US. 74, the gold mirror cover, $50 US.
Yeah.
And we also have Wonder Woman 174 at about $100. Satana issue 16 at $40, and these are all coming with rapid increases. Now, so to finalize on this book anyway, it's just to say that it's a great cover and it's only cover price. Okay, so market prices are all over the place in the $5 to $10 US range, with the majority $8 shipped. And there's a boatload online listed with a few selling. Hughes has a way of seeing nice market gains over the years. So like a fine wine, tuck this away for about a decade to marinate, and it will bring a few ducats. But if you're interested into picking up new, older titles like the Catwoman title, which I mentioned, go to a local comic book store, go to a con. This is a pickup from our good friend Phil's Planet Hobby there.
Yeah.
And then one day, nice sunny afternoon.
Yeah, we don't get around to Phil's Planet Hobby store as often as we should, but he's
Yes.
got a great little store in Mississauga.
Yes, and this book is a great fun cover for me. I usually, within the first 2 or 3 seconds looking at a cover, initially I know whether I'll probably pick it up or not. Again, a nice combination of the fun, playful side of it. She's obviously pissed off a few villains there, including, I think, in the background you got Gorilla Grodd, you got the Mad Hatter, you got the Man-Bat. So, in any case, great cover, white, so it's going to be tough condition-wise. Picked it up for a $5. Let's end with the last book I picked up, and this is a con book. I picked it up at the Toronto Comic Book Con.
Oh, yeah.
Great cover.
I love it.
Second printing of it, from the red lights in the background, the first printing will have blue, but a terrific cover. And the image, when I first saw this cover, I thought, Ghost in the Shell, which is one of the anime movies that's one of my favorite movies of all time. Major Kusanagi, her jumping off the bridge.
There, yeah.
Great cover. I'm sure that was probably in his mind when I see it. Again, picked up for a tenner. Yeah, so like I said, I mean, you do not have to break the bank. If you're not willing to spend, and I have a $50 kind of self-imposed limit. I don't try to spend $50 on a new book.
Modern book, yeah.
You can pick these things up for $5-10. You don't have to go hag hog and spend the big bucks. You can play the game and at a lower price.
Those are fantastic books, Jose, and that is a great way to start off our episode tonight. Thanks for bringing them in.
Nice scoring in the wild. Yeah.
Okay, next up we got Mike, and he's got a couple beautiful Silver Age goodies he's going to show us tonight. And I guess you're starting with this really nice copy of Batman number 186. Wow, Mike, fantastic book.
Thank you. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a couple of Big B purchases, but from two different shows. This one was from Fan Expo when Jose was pulling them all out, and I was just knocking them out of the park, as he said in the earlier episode.
Yeah.
So this was a $20 book, 15 US. Murphy Anderson, Irish Shrimp, Schnapp. This is the first Gaggy who was the sidekick before Harley Quinn. He only showed up for about 6 episodes, but in one of those episodes, Harley Quinn shows up. He tries to kill Harley Quinn out of jealousy. So
this guy was in 6 books, right?
Yeah, that's about it. But he was kind of like a kickabout sidekick for.
So he's a midget henchman, almost like like the plane, yeah.
And he could never do anything right either. Apparently, he was a bit of a mess up, but that's what the Joker is, so unpredictable and lovable
Yeah.
and scary, that he likes someone who would mess up just so he could fix it.
Hey, you don't have to
Yeah,
talk
man.
up a book that's got a Joker cover, man. That
Yeah.
sells it on its own. That's
For
enough
sure.
for
On
me.
its own. November 66, so
Great
right there.
book.
Yeah, you know, you want to talk quickly about grade. It is about a 4.5, 4, whatever.
But it's a good looking. I always say, man,
But
buy the book, not the grade. It's a good looking lower grade
the
book.
whole
Yeah,
picture
yeah.
looks great, so I'm happy with that.
Good cover appeal.
Yeah, so moving on, since we're already talking about the Big B,
Now this
you
one.
know these guys, Jose?
Yeah, this is Mark Sims. This is a pickup from the Toronto Comic Book Show. Yeah, his location is in Barrie. We should do a road trip one day, on a weekend, on a Saturday or something. Just take a
Yeah,
road trip up
check
to
it out.
Barrie, man.
So
it's
we
only
can-
an hour away.
So we can film the interior of the store.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Sure,
only
man.
45 minutes, an hour away,
It's a
whatever.
beautiful. This is a beautiful Doc Ock cover.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful. Unfortunately, I had to give it a knock it down a bit of grade. I didn't notice there is sort of like a snaggle tooth right there.
Ooh, it's got a
Page is
wooger.
just hanging on. It's a wooger, but it's hanging on. It's just hanging on by a thread, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's
which
too
made me had to
bad.
bring it down a whole point. But still, even bringing it down a whole point, deal was made. Still well worth the value, and he gave me a discount off of that price tag for being a Silver Age dude. How
So what did you
cool
what
is
you
that?
what did you pay
Final
for?
price paid $35 Canadian.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
How's the spine there? Am I seeing some wear along there?
There's a little bit. I mean, I would have given it maybe a 5. I've given it a 5.
Yeah.
I would have given it a little higher. Yes, there's a few tick marks
Yeah,
and whatnot
yeah.
and stuff like that. That snaggletooth.
Still
Full half
for
trade off.
35
Easy.
bucks.
$35, you can't go wrong.
$35, okay. Giving it a 5.0. Still worth about 54. It's a Ramita cover, of course.
Mhm.
And in this issue, Otto rents a room
Otto
May
Octavius.
Park- yeah. from May Parker,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool as part of the storyline, and it's key to the whole storyline thing.
The tentacles
going on
and the
right there.
trap.
So-
Yeah, baby.
Nice snag. 54 for that 54. That's a good value on that pick. Nice score, Mike.
Those are great books, Mike. Thanks for bringing them in.
Yes, yes.
And next up, we got Jose with a real nice Silver Age goodie, showcase number 73, and a nice looking copy it is, Jose.
It's pretty good. This is the entree to our portion of what I'm calling the art of the deal. A healthy comic book community has good comic book stores, places where you can go and hang out and meet, like your front room. And we're blessed to have a lot of these places in town. So this, yes, is Showcase 73 from April of 1968. First appearance and origin of the Creeper and first appearance of Professor Yates. So Jack Ryder, also known as the Creeper, makes his first appearance in this issue. The character has debuted in other titles sporadically throughout his career. Due to a serum invented by Professor Yates, the Creeper has enhanced strength and agility, has a healing factor which can heal virtually any wound he may acquire during combat. So eat your heart out, Wolverine.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, his laugh is painful to the ears of his victims as well. So, the character of Jack Ryder was supposed to appear in the movie The Man of Steel, but DC put the kibosh on that. He was once a Gotham TV host, so there is still a possibility the character of Jack Ryder may make a cameo in an upcoming film, or maybe on the Gotham TV show if he hasn't already. Whether he gets his Creeper on is a different story altogether. Now, created by that legend, Steve Ditko for DC Comics, he has appeared in animated TV shows like the New Batman Adventures and Batman the Brave and the Bold, as well as the Batman Arkham video game series. So, 47th Overstreet price splits for this for the 9.2, 9, 8, and 6.0 grades are $225, $147, $69, and $30 US. It's a lower mid grade. I think it's something approaching a fine. If I'm taking the old Mike formula of taking a half grade off what I think it is, I think
Yeah.
I would grade this about a 5.5. I figure I got $40 into it because this is a bundle. So moving on to the second book, the entree here. Here we have Captain America, issue 101, May 1968. First appearance of the fourth sleeper, SL4. This is part one of a two-part story. So this is the second Silver Age issue of the Captain America series. Now, in spite of the fact that it's listed as issue 101, Now, this of course is because the title, which was originally Tales of Suspense, was renamed to Captain America. So remember, Tales of Suspense was a shared title between Iron Man and Captain America.
That's right, yeah.
In '68, they split it off. Iron Man #1 came out. Well, actually, that one shot came out first.
Yeah.
Then they got his first thing, and they continued the numbering on Captain America from that issue. So
Yeah.
100 is the big issue, of course. So this would be the second issue. Story: When Wakes the Sleeper. Story by Stan the Man, King Jack pencils covers art, and Sid Shore's ink covers art. Now, in this issue, Captain America is sent on a mission by Nick Fury of the utmost importance. What he finds at his destination is that the Red Skull, his old nemesis, and it's an even deadlier plot than imagined. Okay, so great, terrific Red Skull cover. Again, I didn't want to pay the big bucks at issue 100 Command, so you know what? I'll get the second issue for a very reasonable price. 47th Overstreet price splits for this, and the 9.2, 9, 8, and 6.0 grades are 175, 117, 59,
Was he supposed
and
to remove that?
$27 US.
Is he supposed to remove that, or?
Well, I guess we're going on to the final.
Yeah, okay.
I guess we're continuing here to the finale. So, in my opinion, one of the most ignored Marvel Silver Age comics is, of course, in my opinion, Daredevil. Oh, he gets a lot of attention for the Frank Miller years and the darkening of the character with Bullseye, Elektra, and the whole Kingpin saga. But before this era, there was the Devil May Care era persona, the unrequited love of Karen Page era, and yes, the really goofy villain era. Remember the Leapfrog, Matador, and of course, the Stilt Man? Daredevil, number 8 issue from June 1965. First appearance and origin of the Stilt Man in the Stilt Man comic.
Nice.
Okay, so Stilt Man, not exactly the most revered or deadliest of Marvel villains, but the guy has been a nuisance for Daredevil and the likes of Captain America and Spider-Man over the years. Yeah, Wilbur Day is his real name, and his suit was invented with telescopic metal legs to give him the ability to tower above his adversaries. In this issue, Foggy Nelson and Matt Murdock are hired by a disgruntled scientist who claims his boss stole his invention. The scientist, it turns out, is not only the real thief, but also the new villain, Stilt Man. Now, this is still an early Daredevil key issue. It's the second issue after number 7 to feature his new iconic all-red costume. Yeah, so in that book, in the highest grade from the latest Overstreet, that's a $2,000 plus US book for
Wow.
being first red costume. It's got a great cover. What did I say in the new comic book 7? A great cover.
Yeah.
One of my top 5 from the Daredevil run, really, by that legend, the brilliant Wally Wood. Yeah, and it's a high-grade Silver Age copy. So this was a linchpin. Sometimes when you're doing a bundling aspect, after if you have that one big book, what you try to do is try to get the price such that the price basically that it's in final paid for all 3 books can basically be covered by that key piece. And in this case, let's talk about the price of this book. The 47th Overstreet price splits for the 9.2, 9, 8, and 6.0 grades are $350, $227, $103, and $45 US. This, we both agreed, is something above an 8, and we're
Yeah.
both in complete agreement with that.
Yeah.
Now, how much above that is the question that remains to whether I did good or I did great. Now, at minimum, at an 8.5, you do the math, you add the 2 grades, and you divide by half, it'd be about $165 for an 8.5 US.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, we all know that now at a 9, now we're talking 227, which is roughly about $300 US, which current exchange rates.
Yeah.
I think it's at least an 8.5, and every possibility that it could back a 9 or a 9.2. We won't find out, of course, if we get this graded.
You get it graded, yeah.
Now, this has just missed the train. It just pulled off out of the station. I've submitted the final cut list of 24 books, so this book will be submitted. I do want to find out. I do want to put a number to that book. I think it'll come back a 9, and if it does come back at a 9, then this book is worth $300 according to the current Overstreet guide, which would be more than I paid for all 3 books, and that is the art of the deal.
Nice.
That's fantastic. You know, and that book looks to me like it just came off the camera, the rack. I mean, it's in really fantastic condition.
It is choice grade wise. I filled in a huge hole. I got an early Daredevil key issue and a really high grade.
Yeah. Superb, Jose. Absolutely spectacular.
Love it.
Okay, so it's going to be Big Mike, Eagle-Eyed Mike, bringing it home tonight. He has two really nice-looking Silver Age Fantastic Fours.
With a highlight on the nice looking. These
Yeah.
look like some really good grades on these books, Mike.
Oh yeah, they're really nice. They're up there in the 7s, easily 7.75s.
That's good.
What are we starting with? Number 63 there,
Number
right?
63 from June of 67. And again, another Sandman cover. You'd think it was a theme. I bought that Sandman Amazing Spider-Man first appearance, and all of a sudden it seems like every dealer's got a Sandman for me.
Yeah.
Well, my Sandman's almost done. I've
Wow.
got almost everything. What do you
That's an impressive cover. I remember the other one you showcased
The other
too.
one I liked a little more than this one, but still, I mean, price paid. These guys were one of those dealers right across from the Big B Berry guys at the Toronto
Comic Book Show.
He was throwing 20 books and saying, "I just want 20 for these." I
The
gotta get rid
infamous
of them."
table guy who flops
Yeah.
down a
Table
folding
guy.
table and throws
Because
books and
as
go.
soon as this gets cleared,
Yeah.
I'm putting more up. I don't care. I just need, and there were some of them were.
A very novel and interesting way to really kind of like really put the pedal to the metal when it comes to the selling strategies. Like,
Yeah.
I'm heavily discounting the
But
books.
do you
Who
know
wants
what
to be
he had?
first to bite?
He had two people actually paying out, probably two people all day long. Because
Yeah.
how could you not? This is a killer deal.
So what are you up to as far as vintage Silver? Your Fantastic Four collection's got to be getting pretty extensive.
It's actually smaller than my X-Men, but it's
Really?
it's yeah, it's in,
Still probably pretty impressive.
Isn't it
Yeah.
about 30 or some odd?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So,
So in that condition, given that about a FVF, worth about $82. Are you kidding me? For $20 Canadian.
Is that from the Realm?
82 US on the Realm. Sorry, yeah. Now you know, and you go online and you look and see, and you take in the shipping. Oh, come on.
No, it's a good deal.
Super great.
You could not
deal.
argue your way out of saying $20 for that book in that condition. It's
Steal.
not a great steal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's it look like underneath for the second one?
What do you
then?
got, Else?
Okay,
So
there's another beauty. Now this one I got, I believe, from our
That looks
friends
like-
at Hagenland.
Looks like
Hagenland.
it just came off the comic rack.
A little better condition, about a half grade higher than the other.
Yeah.
Paid about $10 more. This is Hagenland, of course. The only key factor to this is, I've never heard of this ever before. Reed Richards and Sue Storm quit the team. I've never heard of people quitting the team before. Have you?
well, it's interesting that you're in the stage of you have this like black holes in your knowledge of being a run guy. You're getting reacquainted.
I'm kidding. I'm being.
I know, but you know what though? Black cover, white cover, interesting. Condition is all important in books,
Yeah.
but I mean it really shows on the blacks, and somehow they're sometimes masked by the white, so it can be a little bit tricky grading a white cover. But
Yeah.
you seem to have an eye for the quality of the white.
The little writing there probably pulled it back from an 8.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
other
it
than
really
that,
did.
I mean, the spine there's the ever so slight spine roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that,
You really got to angle it to see, like you were saying with the whites. I mean, there are probably a few ticks, but very little. But you really got to angle it to see if they are actually prevalent.
Yeah, check it out in raking light and in a good
I
light
do
situation.
that.
Yeah.
I take my time with these. Of course, these are my babies.
And I'm sorry, was that another $20 book?
This
30.
was a $30
$30
book.
book.
And again, it would have probably come in an 8 if it wasn't for someone scribbling.
Scribbling. Yeah, yeah.
Right. So I mean,
Nevertheless,
half a
an
grade just for that.
excellent cover and an excellent price, man. You seem to get score on these Fantastic Fours. You do find the deals on them.
Well, they know I'm out there looking for them, so they always bring
Sure.
them in for me, and that in a 7.5, and so maybe I'm wrong. But the room on it is so huge because that's worth about a 105 according to the Realm. I don't think the guide is too much off. Maybe it is.
I think the
By
books
about
have been
20
hurt.
bucks.
I think there's been, outside of the really big keys a la Galactus and Black Panther and stuff like that, the run books, they're a little bit more quiet right now where they're not being that
Yeah,
much printed
exactly.
material. Marvel not putting out a Fantastic Four book right now. So you do get the spikes on the big books, but somewhat dormant sometimes unless they're really high grade for the run books.
Yes.
Yeah.
And although there is hints of Fantastic Four coming back. in
Oh, it's
the,
guaranteed it will.
in
It's
the
guaranteed.
Marvel
From a
Legacy,
rights
right?
environment, I think they have to put out something,
Eventually,
otherwise
it's
they lose the
guaranteed.
rights to
In the Marvel
whole,
Legacy,
yeah,
or at
so.
least
Yeah.
use the characters, like the
Too
2-in-1
good of a
coming
book
out,
and story not to be telling a story about it. Man,
Or
there's
the-
so much good stuff.
Marvel 2-in-1 coming out in November.
Cool, cool. Well, guys, those are some fantastic books you brought in tonight, and as usual, you didn't disappoint. as usual, I'm the one that disappointed. I really got to start, because I have a lot of books, but you guys bring in enough. I just don't feel the need to show them. I'm going to bring out some of my books in the future, plus some other real nice collectibles.
Cool.
So we're going to end there tonight, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to end it on showing some stock footage I took at Altered States, which is Mike's favorite comic book store.
Yes, it is. That's right.
That's
Yeah.
in-
It's his local
it's in
on
what-
the lakeshore.
Yeah.
On Lakeshore, in is it
Where all my
considered
new books get
Etobicoke
bought.
or Mississauga? Is it considered
Is it almost Port Credit?
Port Credit?
It's yeah.
And Altered States is a
just outside.
fantastic comic store, and it's got a excellent selection, one of the best selections I've ever seen of new books.
Yeah.
Not just the Marvels and the DCs, but the independents are absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to show you some footage. Just hope you like it. And if you're in the area, go check out Altered States, because it is another spectacular comic book store. And we will see you guys next time.
Hoy hoy and happy hunting.
It's in Clarkson. Yes, yes.
Just don't have enough room to collect them all. We don't have room to store them. One day I should learn to play the game. You pick that one up already? Kitties, that's for sure. Okay, I wasn't promised. I wasn't going to pick up anything today, but I think I'm going to grab this one. Screaming Citadel, new Star Wars.